All right, hey guys, this next interview is with Ryan Lee. Now, this is key. Like, Ryan Lee is one of my all time idols. Ryan Lee was the first ever person to do online personal training. So, having him on this interview is really cool because you can see someone that started the industry. Everyone that's coming on board now has learnt from Ryan Lee. Half the other people we've interviewed here are Ryan Lee's ex students. Okay? So this guy they call him the godfather of online personal training. I've learnt so much from him. So here's a video and enjoy. All right. Hey guys, super excited to have Ryan Lee here. How are you, Ryan?
Jono, I am excited. I'm ready to be here. That was a big intro.
Are you?
So I don't know if I can live up to that intro. Let's just dive. I'm ready.
Awesome. I'm sure you'll do way more than live up to it. Hey, Ryan, what I want to start off with, I'm going to talk you up even more. I'm a huge fan of yours. All right? I've been following you for years. Huge fan. If there's anyone out there, we're in Australia, a bit far from the States and whatnot, who doesn't know you, can you give them like a quick minute or two overview of what you're doing right now?
Sure. Right now, I just launched this company. Well, not just. It's about 2 years old now. It's called Freedom, Freedym, as you can see. And it's become the #1 media company and really the voice of lifestyle entrepreneurship. So teaching this new breed of entrepreneurship. I've been online a long time. Right now, it's about my 18th year. And I started online doing sports and fitness training, and I did the world's first sports training membership site. So fitness and fitness professionals, that's my background. I was a trainer. I have an exercise physiology degree. That's my love and my passion. And a lot of the big names, probably all of the people that are your fellow guests on here have been students of mine from the beginning. So now I've kind of taken a wider step back to say, look, if I can help transform health and fitness professionals, let me see if I could do it on a global scale and help anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, whether it's online, offline, and give them just the right tools to cut through all the crap and the hype and deliver it. So Freedom it's a free front end site. It's kind of like Entrepreneur Magazine. And then we also have a membership as well.
Awesome. Cool. And then what about, right? Yeah, it's awesome. If you can give us like another 1 or 2 minute breakdown of how you got to where you started from to where you're at now. Because I love your story. I've heard it heaps of times. If we can just start with, you mentioned you did the exercise physiology degree, and then I believe you started working with inner city kids.
Yeah.
And if you can just give us the quick summary from there, how you got from the ex-phys degree, working to inner city kids, to now Freedom. How can we go from there to there?
Yeah, it was my first job right out of college was 1994. And I worked in a children's rehab hospital for 6 years. And I did all these sports and fitness. I did adaptive aquatics. I did recreation. We did games. I mean, I did everything with the kids. But I was also a trainer on the side. I was an athlete in college and captained my track team. So I loved training and high performance training and speed training. So my business at the time, my part-time business, was training young athletes. That's what I loved. That's what I was good at. And I said, and it was probably about end of 1998. The internet was just starting to kind of get a little bit of traction. And I said, let me build a little website just to promote my sports training company. That was it. It was never about building an online business and all this stuff. I started selling training equipment, and we started getting some traction to the point where I'll skip a few steps. Playing around for a few years, making some months I'd make $1,000 or $2,000 in extra income. Some months I'd make $200. It would kind of go up and down. Then I was working I left the job as a children's hospital, became a full-time gym teacher in the inner city in the South Bronx. And that's why I said, let me get really serious about this. I took all this content and said, let me make it a membership site. And it was all for sports training, strength and conditioning professionals. And it just took off. And after about 6 months, I was making a lot more part-time than I was at my full-time job. And my wife and I had yet to have any kids at that time. We have 4 now. But I said, if we're going to do it, let's take a shot now. So I left the job as a gym teacher, and that was 2001, 2002. And I've been on my own ever since. Years and years, it was all about sports and fitness training online, mostly strength and conditioning. Then I started doing well. Fitness professionals like, well, I want to do an online business. Can you help me? I said, absolutely. Why not? And then now it's to the point where everyone have seen all these students of mine do really, every kind of big name in the fitness industry online was one of my original students or a student of my student in some way. So they're like, well, can you teach me? I'm like, absolutely. So that's what Freedom is now. That's where it's kind of made it's evolved. And that's, by the way, that's a big point, because I don't want to just sit here and talk about myself all day. I can if you want to, but I don't want to. I want to serve. But It's in your business. Sometimes, especially fitness professionals, we're scared to do like one niche, to do one thing. We're like, well, I don't want to just do, kettlebells for baseball players or cricket players or soccer players, whatever they play over there in Australia, right? I don't want to do that because then I can't do anything else. And the thing is, if you start with one niche and build relationships and build trust, you're going to evolve. Like your business is going to evolve and people will go along with you. I have people that have been on my list now for 18 years. When I first started, I mean, think about it. I was in my 20s and not yet married. Had just gotten married. Actually, when I started, I wasn't married yet. And I didn't have any kids. Now I'm about to turn 45 and I have 4 kids. And now I'm teaching like entrepreneurship. So it's been, you evolve and you change. So what you're doing today, I guarantee you is not going to be the same 5 years from now, let alone 5 months from now, let alone 5 weeks from now. I mean, online, when I started, there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube. Google had just started. I mean, it was such a different landscape. There were no online videos. So things change, things evolve. Don't get stuck to say, this is the only thing I'm going to do. This is the one business model. This is the one market, because things do change and evolve. So if anything, maybe that gives you a little, so you can be like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to get so stressed, because that's why people don't actually get started, because they're scared about being pigeonholed, or what if I don't want to do this in 5 years? Don't worry. Just go with it.
100%. Another thing I love about you and about Freedom, Ryan, is the whole membership site component. I feel like you're the king of that. And it's still fairly new over here in Australia. A lot of people membership sites aren't that popular. And I love it. I've started mine pretty much after I saw you at IDEA. I started mine 2 months after that. I think we got live in like December or something. And we're up to 200 members now. Okay. And that's for you, that's probably peanuts, No,
it's not. You have 200 more members than most people. Most people never launch it, or if they do, their market and message is so off, or their pricing is off. So 200 is a great start, and most people would die to have 200 people in a membership site.
Well, thank you. Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about that, Ryan. Let's start just with the membership site. If you could just rattle off a few benefits about why you love it, and then we'll sort of move on from there.
Sure. Well, my God. I mean, you're opening up a can of worms, because I can go on forever. There are so many. Number one is obviously the recurring revenue. It's great if you're selling a one-time product. So a lot of fitness professionals will put together like a program. Let's say you sell it for $50 or $100 or Australian dollars, right? Yeah. And that's great. So let's say last month you sold 50 of them times $50. You made, but it was 50 times 50 is what? $2,500. That's great. $2,500. Yeah. But the next month, day 1 of March, day 1 of May, day 1 of October, you're back at zero. But if you have 100 people or 200 people paying $20 a month for ongoing, you have that monthly recurring, which has always been a big thing in the fitness industry, right? People join a gym and they pay $10 or $20 or $50 a month and it's recurring monthly revenue. So it changes the dynamics of your business. It takes all the pressure off, all the stress off, and it's that monthly recurring revenue. That's really the holy grail. So that's number one. So with that, it changes your business, because you're not always focused 100% on getting new customers. You want to still grow your membership, but you also want to take care of your people. So it changes your mindset to always traffic to traffic, but let me also just take care of people, which is why we all get in the fitness industry in the first place, right? Like that's what we want to help people. Yeah. And then it is scalable, because with a gym, you can't have 50,000 members unless your facility is huge. And if you have that, you need extra housekeeping and maintenance and desks and overhead. I could scale. I could have 100 members. I could have 10,000 members and still doing this from my home office. And just, you can hire, if you have tens of thousands of members, you could pay to bring on more support staff. Yeah. But most of the time it's so automated, they don't really need much help, especially if they can go in and log in and access the stuff and cancel their own account. You don't really have to do much. So it is a scalable business. So there's a lot of benefits of recurring revenue, especially membership sites.
Yeah, cool, man. All right, let's expand on a couple points there. Let's say if there's a trainer watching this who's, yet to start online, what would, in terms of membership site, what would be step 1 for them in terms of getting started? What would be the first thing they should do?
All right. I could tell you what you want to hear, or I could tell you what they need to hear.
Let's go with what they need to hear.
All right. here's what they want to hear. Oh, you create a couple of workouts, you put them in a membership thing, you charge $20 or $30 a month, you start marketing and you get some members. That's what people want to hear. That's the sexy thing, right? That's the thing I would sell you. Here's the truth. You could, and because most trainers spend all of their time on that stuff. How much do I charge? How much content do I do? And there's a process and a strategy behind that. But what's most important is the stuff that comes before that. It's strategy. It's your positioning. It's there are now, when I did it, I was the world's first for sports training. If someone wanted to go online in 1999, 2000, and they wanted to improve their speed or become a faster baseball player, whatever it was, I was the only option. Now there are thousands. So the big question you have to ask yourself is, why should someone join my membership? Why should someone pay me money? Why should someone be a part of my tribe or community? Why should they listen to me? If you can't answer that, if you say, well, I don't know, or my stuff, you're dead.
Exactly.
All the other stuff doesn't matter. So that's number one. You have to know what's your place in this market. And number two, you have to be aware that this is a marketing game. Like, this is about awareness. This is about you going out and marketing and getting in front of people. Like, you've got to have a list. It's very hard to launch a membership site day one with no list, no following, no tribe, and expect to get hundreds of members. You saw, for you personally, how much work and effort you put in leading up to the membership site. And even if it was just an idea that you got when seeing me at that conference, you might have been building your list and building relationships for years and years and years leading up to it, right? Every relationship, everything you've ever done has led up to that, right? And it got you 200 members.
Exactly.
Imagine if you didn't have that, right? You would not have 200 members. But people hear, oh, well, he has 200 members. You know, it's not that hard. So they launch with zero. They didn't put all that extra work in, and they get like one member, and they're like, what is this scam, right? And then the internet marketing sharks come and like, oh, you're not doing it right. Let me show you how. Join my $10,000 mastermind, and I'll show you how. And then they suck all that money out of you. It's a crazy game that drives me up a wall. And by the way, you asked me earlier about freedom. That was one of the reasons why I created it. So I figured for just a buck a day, you don't need to keep buying the $2,000 courses and keep spending $20,000 in masterminds. Like, that was the whole idea. I'll give you everything you need, all the support, all the advice, all the training in one place. And because I saw all the crap that happened. And some of my former students are doing that. They're charging $15,000, $20,000 and providing like zero value. They'll get 50 people in a room for 2 days, and you get like 4 minutes on the hot seat. Like, oh, do more marketing next. You're like, what? Wait, what? So I get passionate about this stuff because there's so much misinformation, and people make it seem so much easier than it really is. You can do it. I have a lot of students that have done it. I've done it myself. You've done it. It can be done, but you just have to realize it's going to take some time. It's going to take patience, and it's going to take you just being different. Like, just opening up and saying, this is me, this is what I'm about, this is how I can help you. Let's connect, and taking your time, and then eventually asking for the sale, asking them to join.
Exactly. Well, two things with that. So the first thing is, that's actually how I first found out about you. You made some quote on Facebook or something, and it was like, if you're charging people $5,000 and all you're doing is teaching them how to teach other people to make $5,000, you're a douche. And I'm like, this guy seems all right. And that's how I sort of started following you in one to the other. So I'm the same. Like, I just see so much of that. You know, people will do some sort of course in marketing or something. Then they'll pay someone $5,000, and all that person's teaching them is to show them how to charge someone else $5,000. And it's like, a circle,
well, especially, you know, it's insane, and people fall for it. But what's happened in the fitness industry is people are teaching fitness professionals like, oh, the only way to make money online is by doing big ticket coaching. You know, that's the only way. It's the only economic. So you have to charge $5,000 or $8,000 for health coaching online. And I'll teach you how to do it. It's just $5,000. I mean, here's what they don't tell you, because this is the truth. It is very difficult to sell someone $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 health coaching online, because people will be like, well, if I'm going to spend $8,000, I could have 6 months of personal training one-on-one 3 times a week. Like, what are you going to give to me over the internet? Unless you're a celebrity, unless you're already a famous, well-known fitness personality, really tough to get that. The people who make money are the ones teaching the fitness professionals how to do this.
Exactly.
But it never works because they spend the $5,000 or $8,000. The fitness pros, they kind of get screwed. Then they come to me, be like, oh my God, look, here's a big red flag. Anytime anyone tells you the only way to build your business is XYZ, or the only way to make money is XYZ, they're lying, because they have a, there's an incentive for them to tell you that. Here's the truth. I love giving truths, right? There are thousands of ways to create revenue online as a fitness professional. You can just sell digital products, right? You can have all of your products just in Amazon. I had 2 8-figure businesses that sold nutritional supplements. So you can make money selling ebooks on Amazon, just Kindle books. You can, one of my clients makes $30,000 a month with a health and fitness podcast selling advertisement sponsorship. He also launched a fitness app. Another one of my guys just sells courses. Another one just does a membership site with 3,000 members. So any and all of these can and do work. You just got to pick the one that makes sense to you, that feels good for you, that's right for your market. Like, there's a lot of factors, but don't feel like there's only one way, and don't feel like you have to do them all, because you can't.
Exactly.
Pick one, go for it, get started. If it's going well, you're making some revenue, you could then start to become a business person. So, I'm going to hire someone else. I'm going to hire someone to run this particular vertical of this market, and let me kind of keep building an actual company instead of just product to product.
Exactly. And the other thing I like about that is the list building, but I love the way you communicate with your list, Ryan. And that's also changed my life. Ever since I did your 1 email a day thing, I've been email marketing for years. I've been email marketing, years now. And I've done something similar to the email a day. But once I sort of switched it around to your style, my results went through the roof. So if you could tell us...
Not surprising.
Yeah, well, it's an awesome system. There's a couple key points that I love about it. But if you could just give everyone, a one-on-one about your sort of system, what you do, and why you believe it works.
For some reason, email is the most important thing, right? Having a Facebook page and a Facebook platform and Twitter and Instagram, all that stuff is great, right? You can get in front of people. Yeah. But when you want to make a sale, you have to do it on email. As of today, that's still the thing. And email is something you own. That's your biggest asset. Facebook at any day can close you down. Instagram too. You don't own those platforms. You own your email. So with email, right? For some reason, when people start writing an email, like, they'll do some cool stuff on social, and hey, here's some cool things. Here's the thing I'm eating. Check out. They get in their email list, and all of a sudden they start writing like a copywriter. Who else wants to lose 10 pounds? And it becomes this hypey thing where it's just like, oh, it just doesn't feel right. I stopped doing that years ago. I said, I'm just going to write like I'm writing to a friend, because my dad is on my email list. My sister's on my email list. All my high school friends are on my email list. My college roommates on my email list. My cousins, they all read my email. So I make sure, so I'm always aware of that. Every time I send it, I'm like, what I'm saying, is this something that they would like? Would they smile? If they bought it, would I feel good about that? And if the answer is no, then I don't do it. But there's Abby Woodcock's a copywriter. I was talking with her. She said, the way I tell my students about this is, write like you're sitting down at a bar having a chat with a friend. That's it. That's the whole style. You tell a little something personal at the beginning. You get into some kind of lesson, some kind of story, so they can have something that they could take away. So they can read the email like, okay, this is the one thing I'm taking away today. And then if you want, at the end, you could do a little call to action. By the way, if you're just interested in learning more, click here. If you're interested in joining our membership site, click here. If you're interested in doing a coaching call with me, click here. So it's a very specific flow, but it's just about finding your voice. And it is amazing when you do this, how the relationship with your list change, and how people will start writing back to you, be like, oh my God, I love it. Versus every fitness professional does the same emails. Here are the top 5 ab exercises, right? Here's one reason why you should not eat a banana. It's like generic stuff you see in just a magazine, and you've got to get beyond that.
Exactly. And there's a few things that I love, because the biggest thing I think is that first paragraph where you say something personal about yourself. That's key. Just by doing it. Sorry, go.
Right. Yeah, no, it is. It also should relate to what's your kind of like, what's the brand? What's the feeling you want people? What's that overall, if there were 30 of my subscribers in a room, and you say to them, when I say the name Ryan Lee of Freedom, what do you think about? That's what so a lot of my stuff now with Freedom is about You know, the freedom is about working from home. Like this little studio I set up with my cool ladies posters, you know, the fact that I have 4 kids, the fact that I coach baseball and I work from a coffee shop every morning, and I built this big business not having an office, because I've been down that road. So a lot of that stuff, and it's about finding your priorities. Whether you have kids or not, I'm always aware of that. And I say, look, if you have kids and you want to be with your family, great. If you want to, like, you know, get a red Ferrari and spend the money on that and travel, cool, that's good. I don't judge. Like, whatever makes you happy, it's great. But so you have to find, and that's why it comes all the way back to what we said earlier. What's your messaging? What's your reason? What's your brand? Why should people listen to you? And people want to do business with someone they know, like, and trust, especially in the health and fitness industry.
Exactly.
You can't name one big selling fitness product, fitness workout that didn't have a face behind it. Every single one. And I don't know how old you are. There was way back to Jane Fonda, and Tae-Bo was Billy Blanks, and, you know, on and on and on to now P90X is Tony Horton, and like all of the, you know, Jillian Michaels, is it, like, all of them have a name behind it. So don't hide behind some generic, you know, getfitonlinetoday.com and try to take yourself out of it. That's the wrong way. You should be running into that. You should be leaning in and embracing that, saying, this is me, I'm different, I'm personal. Like, I work out of my house, I train clients here. Or if you train on the beach, or whether you're high intensity, whether you're CrossFit, whether you're Pilates, whether you're yoga, whether you're more meditative, whether you're nutrition, whatever your thing is, do that, own that space, and just be all about that. Hey, it's, you know, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and before I go to my next yoga workout outside. Or yesterday we had 8 people at our Pilates class, and, you know, I had Mrs. Jones, and she's amazing. She's 90 and she could now, you know, touch her toes. Like, tell stories, engage, and wrap it around your brand. But always tell the truth, right? Don't make up stuff.
Exactly.
Don't make up stuff. That's the worst thing you could do. So people say, well, how do I become a better marketer? How do I tell more stories? Here's a key. Live. Like, just live more. Meet people. Get out of here. Like, connect. It's another reason why I get out and go to the coffee shop every day. I have great stories to tell. I meet great people. Just talk to people. Meet. Just everywhere you go. If you're at a, you know, you're getting a new shirt, talk to the person behind the counter. Oh, do you work out? Like, not trying to get a client, but just get stories.
Yeah.
Stories.
100%. Hey, I'll leave you to it, Ryan. I just want to mention one more thing with the whole 1 email a day that I loved, and also I felt was a big game changer for me, was you do yours pretty much live, right? You get to the coffee shop at 8 o'clock or something, write your email.
Not pretty much, 100%. There's no pre-planning on that.
And that's that was a big change for me as well. That really helped me. So what I used to do is I'd pre-plan it for like 7 p.m. at night or something. And my goal was almost to have it almost automated. You know, I would set up, here's how you use kettlebells, here's how you use TRXs. And I'd want to have as much stuff in as forward as possible, so that I'd get something together now for like 2 weeks' time and I wouldn't have to worry about it. But as soon as I changed that whole thing and said, you know what, Ryan sort of looks like he knows what he's talking about. I might seem sort of successful. I might try his system out. And I found there's just something about having it live as well, about waking up, writing that email, and what you're feeling right now, what you did last night, what you did this morning. Your content can sort of be the same, but something about just having that, writing it live, makes a huge difference. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I can't, there's no words to describe how much I agree with that, because that's my whole philosophy.
Yeah.
There's something about a live email. There's something about it being in the now, in the present. Like, if I send out an email, like, so here's a perfect example. I don't want to date this training too much, but there was a tragedy 2 weeks ago. Okay. I'm not going to say what it was. It was a tragedy. There were like 50 people that were killed in a terrorist incident, right? If that next morning, the email is, hey, here's a great kettlebell exercise. People be like, you are the most insensitive prick in the world. But the fact that it happened, I could address that. It just feels more real and more live. And my brand and my feeling is all about the energy, the passion, the live, living in the now. So it just makes sense. But people, even though sometimes they can't always tell, they can't tell if you wrote your email 2 weeks ago or today, unless you say, hey, it's a Sunday, it's a sunny Tuesday, and, you know, today, blah, blah, you know, most cases they can't always tell, but there is, I don't know what it is, I don't know how to describe it, there's an energy to doing it live. There's an energy you exude, there's an energy they receive about them reading the email, feeling like they're sitting there with you at the gym, at the beach, at the coffee shop, at your house, whatever. They feel like they're there with you and they're just with you. And you got them, right? Not in a bad, sneaky, got them kind of way, but like now we're in this together. We're connected just like a friend. Could you imagine if you got an email? So who was your best friend from high school or primary school, whatever the heck you call it in Australia? What was your best friend's name?
Michael.
Michael. All right. Nice Australian name, Michael. Could you imagine if you start getting an email from Michael, hey, that like if it wasn't present, right? It was something he wrote 2 weeks ago. Imagine this tragedy happened. You get an email from Michael. Hey, who wants to know the 5 ways to grow your diet? You'd be like, what is this? You would never open it. So, because that's not how a friend would write a friend. I look at all of my tens of thousands of subscribers as friends. And that's how I want to treat them.
Awesome.
So it's a simple thing, but it changes everything when you do that.
Yeah, 100%. Those two things, as soon as I followed off you, business changed, which is awesome. But thank you.
It's great.
But hey, Ryan, that's pretty much all we got time for today. Just before I leave you to it, is there anything you'd like to add? Anything I should have asked you and I didn't ask you? Any final touch if someoe's watching this and they're maybe 50-50 online or they're not online and they just want to get started? Is there anything that we should add to this?
Just know it's going to be a challenge, right? Just know you're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. If I look back to all of my students over the past 15 years, I've been actually teaching this stuff. I taught all fitness just for the first few years. And I look back at people like Mike Geary and Michael Boyle and Zach Gavanesh and Vince Delmine, like all the people who've done really, really well. The one trait they all had wasn't that they're so much smarter than everyone else or they're better at ads or whatever. It's they were just resilient. Like they just didn't stop. Like they just kept going. And that's the only thing. If you could mentally, like you're training for a fight, right? Whew, take a deep breath. You get ready. So this is not going to be easy. It's not as easy as everyone says, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to be me. And it's amazing what can happen.
Awesome. Cool.
There you go.
Ryan, thanks very much for your time. That was awesome.
It is my pleasure. And I hope everyone listening enjoyed this and found some value. Visit me. I'm at freedom.com. I'm there every day, all day.
Awesome. All right. So a couple key takeaways there from Ryan. The first thing I like is he's when he was talking about strategy, and he's like, it's not just as simple as putting a few workouts together and selling it online, because there's just so much competition out there that no one's going to buy that. All right. And why should they? Ryan says something like, why should people buy from you? It's that simple. Like if you're watching this now, think in your head, why should someone buy from you? Why are you better than going to the gym? Why are you better than a face-to-face personal trainer? Why are you better than all these YouTube celebrities? Why are you better than all these other online programs out there? If you can't have a reason for that, that person shouldn't buy from you. All right? So that's what's important, is that you position yourself as the expert in a certain area, and you've got people have a reason to buy from you. All right? The other key I took away from that is Ryan's whole email marketing side of things. I follow, that's basically my system exactly. I've learned that from Ryan. And the key is that first paragraph that he does when he talks about writing it live and the first paragraph being personal. And not only personal, he sort of takes it that step further and he talks about a live event. And the example he used was with the terrorism attack, where if there's a tragedy somewhere in the world and you send an email saying, hey, it's the greatest day ever, I'm so excited, blah, 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 it doesn't look good and it just shows that it's some automated spam. Okay? And then the other thing with that is that Ryan says that not only is it personal and real life event, but it also relates to his business and what he wants to portray. He's all about lifestyle freedom, lifestyle entrepreneur, working from a coffee shop, spending time with friends and family, that sort of thing. So that's what he talks about because that's what he wants his followers to have as well. All right. So there's some of the takeaways from that talk with Ryan. Hope you enjoyed it.